Shogun 87 back again with some more Sail Simulator 5. It's about time that we've been able to get on here with a good match. As you can see, we're at the Volvo Ocean Racing boats, so this is going to be a good race. I wasn't recording commentary live, so I'm kind of just recording this after the race. But there's two other people in here, both New Zealanders. We got to start on a reach, almost like an America's Cup style racetrack right now, where you start on a reach, you know, downwind, upwind, downwind, and then reach to the finish. We have 2 minutes to the start. We're just kind of hanging around in the start box area, a little farther away from the starting line than I wanted to be originally, but the other guys are even farther away, so kind of just luffing my main here. I don't have the jib up yet. Just kind of hanging out, wasting some time, waiting to figure out time on distance and make that pounce on the start line. Now, as you can see by the name of this, or the title of this video, Comeback, you will see I have a pretty bad start. I was a little bit late, and the other guys jumped it a little bit better than I did, and yeah, it wasn't the greatest start for the reaching leg, but I do make it up. You'll see how that works out. It's pretty good. So you can see turning towards the start line here. 20 seconds to the gun. I still don't have my jib up. I should have pulled it up a little sooner. These guys are starting to make their jump already, and I just kind of underestimated how quickly I could get there. He's already got his spinnaker up for the reaching leg. Well, it's a little bit of an offset reach too. I mean, from this angle, starting on this end of the line, you can get away with putting spinnaker up. As you can see, I raised mine. So we're behind the other two guys, and at this point, I was like, shit. I screwed it up. And usually when you're racing, you know, these type of boats against, you know, other guys, it's really hard to come back. I think I realized there having the spinnaker down was a bit better for this part. And I really come alive on the downwind leg, as you're about to see. I make a pretty aggressive turn around the mark. I have my keel coming over to the new, what will be the new windward side. And I wanted to get inside that guy if I could, and I did just that. Pretty aggressive jibe there. And then we get our spinnaker up. You see the keel coming all over to the other side already. We're already got the weight on the new windward side, and we're ready to take off. I put my jib down. I don't know. This is arguably this is a good arguing point in this game for downwind legs. I always take my jib down, and other people leave them up, and I seem to do better with just the spinnaker and the main. And everybody else seems to have the jib up with the spinnaker, and as you can see, I'm blowing right past them here. So I have a better angle downwind. I get on the speed faster. It was beautiful. You can see this course here. They've got all these towboats or tugboats in front of us, kind of setting up like an imaginary boundary line. I tried to abide by that, and you're not going to get penalized for going outside in this game. There's no rules like that you can set up, unfortunately. So as you can see, when I get closer to this invisible line between these boats up here, I set up for a jibe, just to kind of keep it competitive and stay in the middle of the course. But I don't think these guys followed that. They went outside the boundaries a couple times to try and make a move on me, and I didn't like that. I was like, I wish we could have a penalty system in this game where you have to stay within the boundary lines of the course. But unfortunately, that's not the case. So here I was on starboard, and I don't think that guy knew he was going to cross me, so he jibed over onto starboard as well. And I was kind of worried about him giving me some dirty air here, but he wasn't set up, and I had enough pace to blow right through that patch of dirty air right there. So now I'm in clean air, just about. And you can see that green arrow for the wind or the downwind mark up there, I guess. There we go. Now we're on the power. So it was good to get force him to jibe and get in front of him again. The other guy, I don't know where the hell he went. He's way back there. So not a good race from him. He had a good start. And now I'm kind of planning, okay, we got the lead now. I need to try and hold it or extend it, so I'm kind of planning the the final jibe around the mark here and how I'm going to tackle the whole windward leg. Which, because of the boundaries, the water gets so shallow. If you look on the map, that light blue and the dark blue, you can't really go in there in these boats because these things draw like 17, 18 feet with the keel down, so you really do have a tight boundary in which to sail in. And that kind of messed me up, as you'll see going up the windward leg here. I think I had to put in an extra tack just to get around the windward mark, but we got a while before we get there. It's so much fun on this game, racing these boats. If you can get people to race against, which is hardly the case, unfortunately. There's just not enough people online. But it's amazing when you do get the opportunity, like I had here, to race on a competitive course too. And usually you get on and you got a race going on in these boats, and the wind speed's like 40 knots, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. It's stupid. And it is. I mean, it's just you hardly put any sail up and you're flying. And I like these courses a lot better. The windward, leeward legs, and actually kind of simulate maybe some like Volvo Ocean Race import races or the America's Cup import races. Do those style courses, and it's a lot of fun in these boats, the lasers and the 470s, which I think I did a race on the 470. I'm going to try and upload the video on. So you can see here, reaching this boundary here, I'm trying to respect how this guy built this course and abide by those rules. So I pushed it as far as I could go there into the boundary, and I tack. But I look behind me to see if the other guy in second is going to respect those rules, and he unfortunately didn't. He went flying way past it. There he is on the other side of the boundary. So I wish it'd be cool if you could have like actual, boundary lines that you couldn't go over, instead of just like trying to get people to abide by the rules, but obviously they're not going to. You're lucky in this game if people abide by the simplest rule in sailboat racing, which is starboard and port tack. If you're on starboard and you have right of way, so the other guy's on port tack is just going to crash into you instead of letting you have the right of way, because there's no penalty system in this game, which is a shame. Now this was beautiful. I had the boat set up amazing for this, beating part of the race up to the windward mark. There it is. I'm kind of highlighting it with my mouse there. But as you can see, we're heading into shore here. All the buildings in the city there, and I'm not going to be able to make the ley line on this tack. So I get caught out here where I am going to have to go out again and then come back in again just to get around the windward mark. So it's kind of screwed up. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm not sure how it would have worked out if I would have tacked earlier after coming around the downwind mark. I would have had to put in the same amount of tacks either way. But the guy that isn't abiding by the the rule, so to speak, and went flying on the other side of the boundary lines. You know, he's trying to do a one tack basically into the mark, and I got to do a couple tacks, so we'll see how that works out. See, the water's getting kind of shallow here. I'm trying to pinch as much as I can just to kind of give myself some more room before I finally have to go over. But you look at your depth sounder and you start seeing 20 feet and 19 feet, you're like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. Because even though you have the keel raised to the other side, it's not all the way, you know, straight center down. The dagger boards alone on this boat, they draw a lot. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I know it's got to be 10 feet at least, I think. But it's just not worth risking, especially when you got to swing the keel over the other end before you tack. So, you know, you're going to hit ground with the bulb portion of the keel. And then there goes your race. You're stuck on the sandbar somewhere. So you see, I'm nearly made the lane line. If we could have gone a little bit deeper there, as you can see my position on the markup ahead of us there, I would have been able to lay it, but I guarantee if we would have kept going, we would have ran aground. So I unfortunately have to put in an extra tack. I'm not really worried about competition at this point because I really smoked people on the downwind leg, and you can see them coming up on me here. I got the cross. There's several boat lengths, I believe. Yeah. So that was the guy that went way out on the other side of the boundary lines. That didn't pay off for him. He's going to come in behind us. And then I can tack again here to get back onto the ley line and end up covering him the whole way. We're getting set up for the tack. This is going to be a quick 1-2 right here. We're going to have everything set up and ready to go ahead of time. So we're going to tack here, and then before you know it, we're going to be able to tack again to get onto the get around the mark. And then the question is, do you keep going on that course or do you jibe? So he's coming around now, and I'm coming right over in front of him. So that didn't work out for him. I'm not even sure if he made up any ground on me. And that's the way I think in any kind of race. If you can stay in the middle of the course, if it's one design or PHRF racing, you're better off for the, you know, any kind of wind shifts that you get. You go way out flying into the, you know, the lake or the ocean, you know, way off the center line of the course basically, you know, thinking you're going to get an advantage, and then all of a sudden you get a wind shift that throws you off, so you're kind of screwed at that point. So my philosophy is always staying in the middle of the course. Unfortunately, a lot of people I race with in real life don't think that way, but it does pay off a lot if you stay in the middle of the course. And even though you might have to put in a few extra tacks, if you have a good enough crew, it's going to work out for you. Yeah, at this point he doesn't have any other options. He's just kind of following the leader. And nothing he can really do on this last downwind leg to try and make anything up on me. There's not going to be any wind shifts in this game. So now all we have to do is pretty much the same thing after the start, was go downwind to that downwind mark, but instead of rounding and coming back upwind, we rounding just go onto a reach down to the finish line that's down that way. Reaching that boundary, and as I said, I was trying to respect that. Make it a rule in my head even though there's no rules in this game. Pretty nice jibe there, got that spinnaker full pretty quickly. It's just so great, again, you know, when you're able to get people online and race these boats. I find myself a lot just sailing these Volvo Open 70 boats by myself on single player or something like that, on like a, you know, a windward leeward course or something that I'll build up real quickly. But when you're able to find other people that want to race, it's amazing. Especially like longer distance races around the islands or something like that. It's pretty nice. But with that said, like earlier, I was talking about how people make a lot of courses that where it's blowing 30 to 40 knots. I don't join those type of races. I'd rather have it be anywhere between 10 and 20, because that's when the skill really comes into play of the individual sailor, not the blowing 40 knots. You're just pointing and shooting at that point. So this should be the final jibe. Yep, coming around. And all we gotta do is drop the spinnaker and head off to the finish line, which I'm pretty sure these guys are pretty disappointed that they let me come back after that pretty terrible start I had, and I passed them both right after that first mark rounding. And I was just set up better for the downwind leg. I'm pretty sure I had my keel set a little bit earlier than they did, so the weight was already set. I had better sail trim throughout the entire race, I think. For the conditions. As you can see, he gets desperate and tries to do this reaching leg with the spinnaker up to try and catch me, but obviously he's going to get more heel, and that's going to slow him down actually. So the little things like that paid off for me, where I know what sails to have up and when to have them up. Beautiful kind of images there from that angle. And crossing the finish. Right now, there we go. That was nowhere near some of these record times down at the bottom, if you saw that there. But then again, there are a lot of cheaters on here as well. So that was a great race. Nice to get on here with some people and dominate them, so to speak. So I kind of just turning around and watching them come across the finish line. I said, "Good race, guys." They didn't say anything back, so I'm pretty sure they were disappointed. Anyway, we'll try to get some more videos of Sail Simulator up if we can find anyone to play with. I've got more Flight Simulator coming, and Rocket League, and Arma 3, all kinds of stuff. So look forward to those. Thanks for watching. Leave a like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Hope you enjoyed this race. This is Shogun 87. See you next time. Bye.